Alrighty. So Doug, tell us a little bit about Aero Plating out, and you're in Lancaster, California, correct?
Yes, correct. So Aero Plating, we started the dream, I would say, back in 2017.
Hmm.
Between my wife, a partner, and myself, we started, drafting the plan on how to open a plating shop here in the AV um, Valley. And I worked in the industry for about 28 years, worked
Hmm.
for another plating shop down in the Van Nuys area. So my wife was always telling me, Doug, you have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge. Why don't you open your own thing? And I thought it was easy, right? And I said, yeah, why not? Let's start that. Until we hit the roadblocks, getting all the
Right.
permits, having the city and the community approve the
Right.
project. Um, it was, we created uh, the incorporation of the company in 2017, and that went easy, right?
Hmm.
And I said, oh, this is
Right.
easy. And we started submitting permits to the cities and the AQMD and all these, air
Oh, right.
quality control agencies, and they just starting just rejecting, rejecting, rejecting,
Mm.
rejecting. It got to a
Mm.
point that my partner in 2019, he decided to depart from me. It's like, Doug, we're not getting
Mm.
anywhere. So I
Ooh.
said, well, let's shut down the corporation. Let's close everything because we had to keep paying taxes, right? Even though we're not even operating.
Not even in business.
So California still
Right.
dings you with taxes. So he's like, it's too expensive. We don't have money. And I said, well, you can exit. I'll keep trying. And I
Mm.
kept trying. Talked to different city officials,
Mm.
and until I hit the right person, um, they said, "Oh, you are in the system as a chemical manufacturer." And I said, "No, I'm
Oh,
not manufacturing chemicals." I said, "I'm using chemicals within my manufacturing process." And they go,
right.
"Oh, okay." And,
That changes everything, doesn't it?
and then she says, "Okay, then it's approved. But now we need a facility." So
Mm.
looked through 100 facilities. It was hard to find one. Luckily, we found the location that we're currently in. The owner kind of worked with us, helped us with the city officials getting all permits ready and everything. And that's how we end up in Lancaster. But it took me probably close to 5 years to get it
Wow.
approved. You know,
So when did you open up? So 2017 is when you incorporated, right? When did you actually open up
we
the
opened
door?
up in 2023.
Wow, just 2 years ago. Wow, it took you that long.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a. And what were you doing in the meantime? Where were you working
Well, I was
before
I
you?
was working my 8 to 5 job
Right.
on a machining company for aerospace.
Mm.
So, in
Right.
fact, I'm still employed because my company can't support me yet.
Right.
Because I gotta hire the workforce, that I need.
Right.
That's
Right.
where Rafael came in place from BG, and I know him
Right.
for many, many, many years. Um, so I'm still working. I hope this is my last year of my
Hmm.
employment, and then I go and run the company, full time. But right
Right.
now, during the day, I work here. At night, I work over there. Just
Right.
both of them.
So yeah, I was gonna say. So, describe your facility. I mean, you have equipment and you're running parts, and you hired somebody to do this for you, help you,
Yes.
right?
So the facility is about 6,800 square feet. Um, it's about, I would say, 4,400 production square feet. We have a state of
Hmm.
the art equipment that we hire Ronatech um, to
Yeah, good guys. You're on a tech. Yeah.
so because of COVID hitting in 2020, it took Ronatech a little more than a year to set up the system for us. But it's
Mhm.
running great. Now we're doing chem-film and passivation right now. We're
Right.
actually currently working on setting up our penetrant line as well. So we're doing modifications
Gotcha.
currently, and I'll send you some pictures about that. Um,
Sure. That'd be
but
great. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we hired Rafael, who brings about 28 years worth of experience in penetrant, chem film, and passivation. And he is
Gotcha.
our production manager right now. We have another employee under him who supports him, and then my wife and I we run everything else.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Is she working another job too, or is she able to
no,
vote full time for this yet? Oh, full time. Okay, yeah. And so you've got some customers lined up. You got because you are Nadcap, is that right? You're Nadcap now
we
with
are
that.
Nadcap. We are AS9100 certified. And yes, we work with Boeing currently, defense. We work with Northrop. We work with Aero Bending Company, J&R. We work with
Hmm.
NASA, and little machine shops around the AB Valley who are benefiting from us being up here, so they don't have to drive down in the San Fernando Valley. Like,
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And how are you getting a lot of these customers? I mean, is it you kind of like I said doing a lot of the work in the evenings, or is your wife able to do it? How are you able to kind of coordinate
it's
with that?
it's mainly advertising through LinkedIn. I have a lot of connections from the machining world that I worked in, so just sending out emails, reaching out to people, um, letting people know we're open, that we are in the AB Valley and we are fully operating and able to support their needs. Something that
Gotcha.
sets Aero Plating apart from other plating shops is our lead times, right?
Mm,
Our lead times are in days, not in weeks. Most of the shops
wow.
down
That's
in
very good.
San Fernando Valley, LA area, you go there, it's 3 weeks to 5 weeks. Um,
Mm,
for us, is 3 to 5 days, um,
right.
and that includes masking and even painting. We work with DNH plating here in the AB as well. They do painting specifically. I don't know if you know them, um,
Mm,
but yeah, that's how we reach out to customers. So
right. And so yeah, so right now you're doing the chem film and passivation, right? Is that kind of get
correct.
starting out a little slower or smaller and just kind of getting that done, right?
Yes.
Is that's your main focus, right? I mean, do you plan on adding more as things go?
Well,
Is that
our next 3 years is going to be for expansion. So this year we're completing penetrant. Next year will be anodize, and the following year will be painting.
gotcha?
Mhm.
Gotcha. And so I got to ask you, you how many years ago was it you worked at that shop? I know you worked at a shop previously. How many years ago was it that you worked at
I
a
worked
plating
at
shop?
Crown Chrome Plating back in 2011 to 2012.
2012.
Previous
Okay.
to that,
And
I
then
worked at Castle Precision
yeah.
Industries, which was a sister
Oh,
company
okay.
for um, Crown Chrome.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So you had a 5-year window when you were out of the industry. Um, what was it that drew you back that you wanted to get back into surface finishing? What was it that made you really that just kept gnawing at you that you wanted to get back? Besides your wife telling you, "Hey, you've got all this experience, you should be
Well, just
utilizing
looking
it."
at
Yeah, right.
how tight the requirements for plating shops are getting in the LA area, I
Mm,
figure we're losing plating shops every year because either they don't follow their requirements, or they're polluting, or they're doing something and they just get shut down. So um, there's less and less plating shops in California. So that kind of gave me the idea. Well, there's a lot of machine shops. A lot of competition. So there's not a lot of plating shops, right? And
right,
none up here in the Antelope Valley area. So that
right.
that was what motivated me to open up a plating shop instead of a machine
Right.
shop.
Gotcha. Yeah. And thankfully you had the support of your wife who goes along with you on this.
Yes.
But and like I said, you had a partner, but of course you lost a partner. But you know, it had to be rough at times to think, do we still want to do this? Do we still want to put because you're going to have to rent a facility and buy equipment and spend lots and lots of money. I mean, it sure had to be daunting to think about this and say, or should we continue doing this? Did you have those kind of questions that kept popping up in your mind?
Yes. I mean, when you're planning, to start a business from scratch, and it's easier when you go and buy a company that already is established and has, all the customer base and everything. When you're starting something from scratch, there's many, many times that you just want to quit just because how hard it is, and you don't realize this, but it's a challenge. And I think, endurance is what brings successes many times. And my wife was a big, support on that. When I felt like I can't do this anymore, working sometimes 18 hours um, on getting everything established, it's like she kept telling me, remember, Doug, it's not going to be forever. We're gonna get through this. Let's get it done. So yes, there is a moment, that your body, your mind, your heart gets weakens, and you just want to quit. But when
Mm,
you think about the future, and the benefit your project will bring to the community, that's what makes you continue.
mm. Right, right, and like you said, and I have to ask you. I mean, you got the lines in, right? When you started running your first parts, what did that feel like? You finally, it was happening, right?
Oh, that was a celebration moment, even though, when we ran our first part, we was still very another guy from another plating shop to come and help us get the lines, I would say, set up properly to run the parts. The first part we ran was for Boeing defense on passivation,
Mm,
some bearings, and they were very happy with the results. Testing was very easy because it's not only setting up a line and bringing chemical testing in plating shop in house. You also got to think about your chemical testing for your tanks, right? And
mm.
I didn't realize that when the line was working and everything. Then I remember my brother who works in the industry. He's a quality manager. He asked me, he's like, "So, Doug, who's doing your chemical testing?" And I said, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, you have to test your chemicals for your tanks so that you got to know that the chemistry is good." And I said, "Oh, wow. How do I do that?" And he's like, "Well, I can help you out if you want." So he came and actually he gave me a big support on that. We also set up our own lab, brought in a
Mhm.
technician and a certified chemist, and they trained my son to do all the titrations in house. And
Oh, your son does it. Okay,
yes,
great.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
he just turned 18, graduated from high school, going to college. But Saturdays he comes in and it takes him about 8 hours to do all the titrations, and he's been
right.
doing that for me like for the past 2 years. So,
Well, that's great.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I
And,
mean,
and what is your wife? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish up with your.
when we finished the first job, we praised the Lord because in our faith, right? My wife and I, we prayed every night that please give us the opportunity to at least see that we can do it. And I think God was very good about that and gave us the opportunity to land the first job from from Boeing, I'm sorry, and process it. It was only three parts, but it was a big thing for them. So we got a
Mm,
little thank you letter and congratulations. We're happy that you are here to support us. And since then, we started a really good relationship with Boeing defense team. And
right.
that's where we at right now.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, I was going to ask you. So your wife, she's there doing, and what's her title with the
My
company, and
my
what is her
wife is the
responsibilities?
vice president and CFO of the company, and she
Okay.
runs all the financials. And technically, she's the one that leads the company during the day when I'm not there. We communicate
Gotcha.
through emails and we communicate through texts. I call her, I
Right.
go there because I'm just like 15 minutes away from where Aero Plating is at. And I go there for lunch, meet with her, chat about any issues going on, or if I have to, step in on any requirements, then I'll do that.
Gotcha. What's her name? Her name is.
Loida Orantes.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Gotcha. So like you said, you got some good support there, but 23, 24, now 25. So like I said, it's I guess it's pretty much on track what you thought you were going to be doing, correct? And you said maybe next year you might be joining it full time then.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's exciting now, when you think
Mhm.
about all the hours you put in, non-pay and tiredness and leaving your kids at home with a nanny because we couldn't be there. Now that we see the company, growing slowly but surely, um, it's like it's a dream come true now. Now it motivates me to keep working even harder, and get to the next
Right.
stage, right? And hopefully, thinking in the future, then I can be there full time now and be the CEO that I always wanted it to be.
Right. Right. Yeah. Will this be your first company that you've owned
Yes.
and
Well,
yeah, congratulations.
I started back in 2011. I started a landscaping company, but then,
Oh,
water
okay.
got all problematic here in the valley. They shut down everything, so the landscaping was business was dying. So I just shut it down.
Right.
It was
Right.
not the right time.
Right. Right. I guess like you mentioned before, some of the issues that have gone on in California and shops are closing, and which I know a lot of manufacturers like Boeing, especially those in the aerospace, are concerned about that, right?
Yes,
They want to make sure there's people that can handle this. And obviously, I don't know if your thinking in 2017 was the same as it was in 2023, because a lot of things have changed, but obviously you felt there was a need for a type of operation like you wanted to bring, right? There was
definitely.
a big demand for that.
Definitely,
Yeah.
yes, because because of small shops shutting down in LA, the big shops like MB, Berry Avenue, EME, all those shops are getting overwhelmed with all the work coming to them, right? And something that I was discussing with my customers at the machine shop is they were worried about lead times, right? It's like
Mm,
every month lead times just increase and increase and increase, and it goes from days to weeks now. I mean, we have Bowman plating; their lead time is 30 days, regardless,
mm.
right? So, knowing that, they kept telling me, "Oh, we wish we will have somebody close by and that only supports the AV community, so the lead times won't be that bad." So that gave me the idea, and yes, from 2017 to 2023 a lot of requirements have changed, right? But it's all about, molding yourself and your company to fit within those new requirements, right? And bring in
Right,
technology that will suffice the requirements for the AQMD and all these, you know, um, air quality control companies, right? So that you can
right,
stand and operate within the requirements.
right. I'm sure the demand is even more than what it was in 2017.
Oh, it
I'm
is.
sure.
It is just because
Yeah.
the AV area it's growing with a lot of manufacturing. We have Northrop here who's building the
Hmm.
next generation bomber, right? The B-21 program. So there's a lot of machine shops moving into the AV to support that program.
Right. And it must be nice to build a shop from scratch. I know you said you worked with people at Ronatech, Jim Weathereld, his group down there. I mean, how were they to work with? I know they're very good at building these systems, but building it from scratch and having all the new technology you need to meet those qualifications had to be a big plus,
It,
right?
it, it was working with Ronatech. It was a great experience. We have little hiccups here and there, but I mean that's normal when you're starting a business and putting a line from scratch, right? There's a lot of things that you don't think of when you're installing these things. We've been doing modifications to the line as we go. Um, as the need arises, then we call them. They come do modifications and adjust the line to our needs. So it's been a great experience, with them, and
Mm.
a big, I would say, a big thing for us using a line that it's brand new, that nobody else had used before.
Right.
So it's pretty amazing. It's a great experience.
Right. I've been in a lot of shops. Some of them aren't very pretty sometimes. I've been there for years and years but yeah, having a new line and new systems and really, the equipment meets the requirements that the communities are asking you to do, and that's the big thing. And I'm sure, once you've got all that set up that of what the requirements are going to be, probably with smooth sailing of getting everything pretty much in and getting it up and running. And but yeah, that's it's got to be it's pretty exciting times, I guess, for you right now. How old are you, if I may ask? How old are you
Well,
right
I'll
now?
be celebrating my 50th birthday this July. So
Well, happy birthday to you. Nice gift present for you and everything. And you mentioned dream come true. And I think it's interesting. A lot of people you talk to, it's you ask them, and it's one of the things they want to do is have their own company,
yes,
forge their own way, right? And I'm sure you've had this idea well before 2017, but like you said, it doesn't. It wasn't easy, like you mentioned. We've been talking about. This wasn't easy, which makes it a lot more sweeter, doesn't it?
yes, definitely. 'Cause like
Right.
I say, when you go, back and look at the history, that took us where we are right now, it was pretty bitter at the beginning, but now it's sweet, you know. And my wife tells me, imagine if we would have quit then, we wouldn't be here, you know.
Right.
So yeah, it is a great experience. It's not easy. Again, I mean, financially, it puts yourself into a lot of pressure because I mean, we have some um, little investments that we did in the past with my wife. We have two houses that we were renting. We have to sell everything. I took all my 401k out. I had some stocks, that I purchased back in 2003. I sold everything. I mean, we invested our whole entire life savings into this
Right.
project, and we kept, thinking, what about if it doesn't work? Then we're not going to have anything left. But then, that's where your faith comes in, and God speaks to your heart and tells you, well, don't be negative. I'm with you,
Right.
and if I'm with
Right.
you, everything will go right. And
Right.
and that's how it is. Now we're happy that we're
Right.
seeing our investment, you know, slowly coming back, right?
Right.
And we
Right.
appreciate the support for all the industry in the AV Valley, supporting us, supporting new businesses, so that we can keep our doors open.